Let your heart belong to the one Father if you want to be constantly happy. So Baba says that I will send you to that world of happiness where there'll be constant happiness. In Satyug there is no sorrow. Baba says there is no jail in Satyug. There is no sorrow in Satyug. The womb is not a jail, and even the other jails are not there in Satyug. But Baba says, how will you go to Satyug? How will you go to that land of happiness if your heart belongs to the one Father? Where is the heart? Is it here? That's not the heart. The heart is here. So Baba says, your heart is an aspect of the soul, not the body. Yes? So when you say, I give my heart to you, it doesn't mean that you've cut your heart out and given to somebody. Yes? And these days there are heart transplants also. So let's say there's a heart transplant, then if that person has given his heart to somebody and then that heart is put in another body, then also that heart would beat for that same person. Yes, but that's not so. Because it's not about the physical heart. It's about the heart of the soul. So the heart is an aspect of the buddhi. And so wherever our heart is, our buddhi yoga is always there. So our heart is connected to someone or something, and then our yoga is constantly with that one. Yes, so heart is an aspect of the buddhi, and wherever your heart is, you remember that one. Your buddhi yoga is with that one. And when your buddhi yoga is with someone, then they start affecting you. Their buddhi, their state of mind, their sanskars, their karmic journey, everything has an impact on you. Yes, they are suffering, you are suffering. They believe in something, you also are influenced by that belief. They are experiencing a certain state of mind, that state of mind also starts affecting you. So everything about that soul starts having an influence on you because your heart is connected. And this is why Baba says that, when your heart is connected to the impure, vicious souls of the world, then that connection is doing a lot of damage. In Hindi we say we have dard ka rishta. We are related by pain. Yes, people say we have dard ka rishta, which means, whenever they are in pain, I feel the pain. But should you have dard ka rishta? Because if that's the relationship, then we are increasing collective pain, are we not? So one person's pain is becoming two other people's pain. And then what are we doing to the collective consciousness of the world? It's becoming more and more painful. And in this world, there is no soul whose heart is pure and clean, and pure and clean means without vices. Even if the intention is clean, doesn't matter. The soul is vicious. So they are experiencing so many states of mind, so much of karma, suffering, everything. And then when our heart is connected with that, then we also start experiencing all of that. And that's why, we are multiplying each other's sorrow. Instead of alleviating each other's pain, we are adding to that. Yes, because one person's pain is triggering another person's pain, and then we are exchanging pain for pain. We are sharing the pain. Yes, and there was this brother who was telling me that, my mother is a very difficult person. He told me that my father died when we were very young, and my mother was not very educated, so she struggled a lot, and she became very hard and headstrong. So, because she developed her own mechanisms of how to deal with everything that was happening. And now she's very stubborn, and she's very strong-headed. And if her mind is stuck on something, it's stuck on something, because that's how she achieved all the success she did. Yes, so she had to be very resolute and very determined in whatever she did earlier. So, but that sanskar has come now, and even about things which she has no idea about. Let's say she's going through a disease, she doesn't understand the disease also. But if she feels a certain thing or has a certain thought, then she will be very rigid about it. And then he told me that since she raised me alone, I am very attached to her. And most of the times, what we do is our whole day is spent fighting over something, and then both of us crying together. So he told me that she will get very rigid about something, and then I will try to show her the other side, but she will not relent, and then we'll have a fight, and then we'll both cry together. And I can tell you, Didi, that 30 days of the month, at least 25 days, we are crying together. And that's the bond we share. And then I told him, so you see, if this is the pattern of the relationship, then what are you becoming? So she is into depression because of her own thing, and then you are also partly into depression. Yes, so all of this is happening. Why? Because your heart is connected to her. So you see that this connection of the heart with souls who are, not in charge of their life and think thoughts and buddhi, this connection is doing a lot of damage to us. And Baba says that, you see, if our heart is connected to Baba, then instead of multiplying the pain, we could do the opposite. We could heal the pain. Yes, we could give the opposite to that soul. But the first thing we have to do is withdraw our heart from this old world, old relationships, and take it to Baba. So Baba says, let your heart belong to me. And this is why Baba says that you have all relationships with me. Why does Baba, always remind us that you have all relationships with me? Because when we are in a relationship with someone, that someone has authority over our heart. So our heart is open for that one. So whenever you say, this is my so and so, then your heart is open to them and there is a connection, and then that energy flow is happening. So mostly our heart is closed towards most people. But whenever we say, this is someone I am in relationship with, then you kind of, switch on the Bluetooth. So the Bluetooth is switched on and there is a connection there. So the password for the Bluetooth of, hearts to switch on is relationship. So whenever you say this is a relationship, then that person or that soul's buddhi, their mind, their sanskars, their karma, they start having an effect on you. And I remember there's one Kumar, and he is, he is very clear about purity, and he understands that, he has chosen a life of purity, and that's the best decision he could make, and he's clear about it. But one day he was looking very confused, and I asked him what happened. So he told me that he had gone to his village where he grew up, and he said there was this one teacher who used to teach him when he was in the first or second standard. And he said that teacher has a very strong impact on me, and when I was growing up and I was in my teenage and I would make mistakes and I wouldn't listen to my father, then my father used to tell that teacher to make me understand. And I always listened to that teacher, and he has an influence over my mind. And so he said that this time I went to my village, and that teacher was instructed by my father to, counsel me into getting married. And that teacher called me and he made me sit down, and he told me that, from my life experience, I think that you should get married, you must get married, and marriage is very important, and you will repent it if you don't get married. So when he came back, he was a little, that I must get married. So he was in that phase. And then he told me, so I said, okay, so who all are there in your teacher's family? So he said, my teacher, that person had 2 sons, and they are both living abroad, and they are not, they are not speaking to the father. And he lives alone with his wife, and his wife is also going through an ailment, and he is the one taking care of the wife, and they are both living together in the village. So I told him, so if you see logically, then the teacher, this person who is advocating you to get married, that person has not benefited from marriage, because he is the one taking care of the wife and his children have abandoned him. So he said, yes, that's true. And, but it's only when you told that it came to my mind. Because ever since he told me that, what's been on my mind is that a person who has always guided me well, how can he misguide me today? So you see that, so then I told him that, you see, that person is telling you that You cannot live your life alone, but the thing is, he is still living alone and he is taking care of one other person. So can't you take care of just yourself? Is that such a big deal? So I said, no, it's not a big deal, but why did it not make sense to me until I talked to you? So I said, because you see, when you hold somebody in authority, so when you give somebody, that position of relationship, where you are addressing somebody as your teacher, then even that word is so loaded that soul starts having power over you. So this is why Baba says there is only one parent, one teacher, one Satguru, which is Baba. Baba says, don't hold anybody as a guru, don't hold anybody as a teacher. There is also this belief system that parents are God. Yes, so instead of God is my parent, parents are God. But you see that nobody is God, and nobody is even a father, teacher, and Sadguru. Every soul around me is just a co-actor. Yes, it's just a co-actor. And we have had exchanges with every soul. So somebody who has played the role of my parent, they have served me, they have taken care of me. So I must, acknowledge that and I must respect that. But understand that nobody is your parent, teacher, and Satguru. That's just a soul who took care of you, who did their role. But have that much regard and that much care for them in return. But don't hold somebody in a position of authority, of such authority that they can influence your mind and buddhi. Yes, and it is important that we understand this also, because we will be able to take care of them if we connect our heart with Baba. So I'll give you another example. So there was this brother and he's a doctor, and when his father was ill and he was bedridden and he was in very bad physical condition, so his father needed to be injected. So an injection had to be given, and this brother got so emotional that he couldn't handle the injection. So he couldn't make sure that he puts it right straight into his body. So he called somebody else and he waited for that person to come and handle the injection. And in that 15 minutes of time which it took, the condition became very bad. And later his father had a stroke because there was 15 minutes of delay in giving that injection. And that brother shared with me that, you see, Didi, because I loved my father so much, I made his condition worse. Yes, so I told him that's not love, that's attachment. And attachment is a vice. And you can only love souls when your heart is attached to Baba. If your heart is attached to a soul, then you cannot love them. Yes, you cannot give them what they need, when they need, or as much as they need. You will always end up withdrawing your, what they need, or you will end up giving extra. So that's the sign of, a soul who is affected by attachment. So Baba says you have to understand that when you hold any soul in a position of authority and give them power over your heart, then their buddhi, I explained the case of the teacher, because in that case of the teacher, the buddhi of the teacher started affecting the buddhi of this brother, because the brother understood that this is my teacher, but the truth is only Baba is my teacher, nobody is my teacher. Yes, so withdraw all that, connection from souls. Nobody is my parent, teacher, Satguru. They are all Lokik. Lokik means role playing parents. So, that when actors go for interviews, they say, "This is my mother in that movie." So they say, "This is my mother in that movie, this is my brother in that movie." So you see that this is a role play, and in this movie, in this drama, they are acting as your mother, father, and that soul is acting as your teacher, but that's not your mother, father, and teacher. So that's just a soul, and our heart, our buddhi, our mind, everything has to be connected with just one Baba. But how do you go to that place? How do you come to that stage where your heart is connected to one Baba? Only when you remember Baba. You have to practice. Practice seeing yourself as a soul, and practice seeing yourself in all relations with Baba. Practice seeing yourself as the one connected to Baba all the time. Because if you're not practicing, then this mental dissociation will not happen. And then in practical life, there cannot be detachment. And we don't even know how much we are affected in our man buddhi, and how much other people's karmic journeys are affecting our karmic journey, just because of this body consciousness. Yes, so I remember, there was this one brother who left studying because his brother met with an accident and he couldn't study. So he felt that he cannot go to school, and if I go to school, he will feel bad. So what I should do is, I should also study like he is studying. So he is bedridden, so he cannot go to school, he can just take home education. So let me also do that. So you see, that was his karmic journey, the brother's karmic journey. But what he did is, he took it on himself. So he accepted that karmic journey for himself also. So we do that all the time, don't we? So many BKs also, they will say that my husband doesn't understand Baba, and he doesn't agree with Baba, or he doesn't agree with the path, so I'm not able to work on it. So that's your husband's karmic journey, not yours. That's that soul's karmic journey, not yours. But if you cannot come out of the consciousness that I am not this soul's wife, whose wife am I? Shiv Baba's beloved, right? So if I cannot come out of that consciousness, then their karmic journey will become my karmic journey. So if they are doomed to hell, I will also be doomed to hell. Yes, so Baba says, if you don't understand that Shiv Baba is the husband of husbands, then you will start towing the line of this husband, and then that husband will go to hell, and you will also go to hell with that soul. So Baba says, you have to understand this. This is what is happening. So this is why it is very important that my heart is connected to Baba, and where my heart is, my buddhi yoga is there. That's my mind is connected to that one, and my karmic journey is according to that one's karmic journey. So this is why Baba says, when you connect your heart to me alone, then I will make you constantly happy. I will take you to the world of happiness, because then you will think right, decide right, discern right, make right decisions, do the right karma, and then you will go to heaven, right? So just ask yourself, to whom is my heart connected to? Yes, and understand why, what is that. So sometimes, we don't understand what is the force pulling me down, because Baba is making me fly. So what is the force pulling me down? It is this connection of the heart with an impure soul. So this is why pull your heart away, and for that you have to sit in the awareness, because awareness is light, and in order to dispel the darkness of vices you need light. And the more you sit in the awareness that I am a soul and I have all my relationships with Baba, I and Baba is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion, a delusion that I've created here. And when you sit in this awareness a lot, then your heart will be pulled away from the co-actors and connected to the real relationship. So this is something that Baba is saying. And then today Baba is talking about karmic bondage, and Baba is saying that there are many souls who, when they come to Baba, they will say that, I should have come earlier, and if I had come earlier, I wouldn't have got married. Or somebody would say that, if I had come earlier, I wouldn't have had children. And then they would say that, I'm caught up in this karmic bondage because I didn't get this gyan earlier. And then Baba today says that you came when you were destined to come. Yes, but make your choices now. Yes, because there is this buddhi which is very cunning buddhi. Yes, so Maya is cunning. And what does this cunning buddhi do? Cunning buddhi's language is, had it been like this, it would have been like this. Had I come earlier, I would have done this, that, and the other. Yes, have you seen people who come late and they say, had I come earlier, I would have solved everything here. But you people have not done a good job, but that person never comes early. So, there are some people who come late and then they would say that, had I come earlier, I would have done this, that, and the other, and everything would be sorted by now. But that person never comes early. You tell them next time you come early, they will not come early that time also. That is a cunning buddhi. So don't apply this cunning buddhi in Gyan. So, there is this one Mata, and for half an hour she kept explaining that she got married into a very difficult family, and then her husband was very typical and this and that. And then she told me that, I was not fortunate like the Kanyas, that, I wouldn't get married and I would belong to Baba. And now that I belong to Baba, I'm just full of a lot of regret. And I feel, had I found Baba earlier, my life would be different, this and that. And then I asked her, how many years have you been in Gyan? She told me 7 years. I said, and what have you done in these 7 years? So she said, how can I do anything? I am a Mata, I am a Grihasthi, I have bondages, I cannot do anything. Had I been a Kanya, I would have done a lot. Yes, so I said, but Matas are doing a lot. There are so many Matas who are doing a lot. And if you see, the Yagya is sustained and maintained by Matas. So they are doing everything, they are sustaining the yagya, they are taking care of everything. And I remember there was this one Mata, and I met her in the metro once, and she was an old lady, she must have been 80 or something, 80, 85 years of age. And as soon as she saw me, she got up from her seat. She was sitting, and when I entered, she got up from her seat and she said, Didi, Didi, baith jao, baith jao. So I said, no, no, I am not the Didi. You are the old one. You sit. So she said, no, no, Mata will not sit if the Didi is standing. So we are here to take care of you sisters. And then she said that, Didi, I was in the first center. So when Kamla Nagar, Shakti Nagar was being established, then I was the Mata who served there. And she said that I was the one who used to get up at 2:30 in the morning, finish all the household chores, go and listen to the Murli, come back, feed everybody the breakfast, then again go for seva, then come back, cook meal for the family, then again feed them and go back to the center. And she said that I have balanced this alaukic life in such a magical way that nobody has ever had a complaint with me. Not Baba, not my Lokik family. Yes, so you see that this thing that I cannot do something because I came late, or had I come earlier, I would have done that. That's not the way you think about things. So Baba says, you came when you had to come, but now make choices. Yes, if somebody comes when you are not married, then make a choice. Don't fall into Karam Bandhan. Yes, because you see, when you have come at the right time and you have a choice and you understand that now if you get married and if you have children, then what happens? You will fall into attachment, will you not? Yes, so you already have some Karam Bandhan with you. You are attached to your parents or Lokik ones. Yes, so all those things are there. Already that Karam Bandhan is there. Now why create new ones? Yes, because again you will create these new ones and then the aim is to get detached. So again you will have an inner fight and then you want to detach from them. Why go that way? So Baba says, now that your mind, body, wealth is free, use it for seva. But if somebody has come later on, then Baba says, don't use this cunning buddhi and keep saying, had I come earlier, had I come earlier. No, that's not how it works. So Baba says, you come when you're supposed to come, and then the next thing you do is understand, put your sensibilities to work, make choices, create your fortune. Yes, so this is how you do it. And don't make bad choices after taking Gyan. So once you've received Gyan, you understand that entering into a new relationship with an impure soul is like creating a new Karam Bandhan. Yes, because if you have a karmic account with an impure soul, then obviously their karmic journey will start affecting your karmic journey. Yes, so why go into that? So you see, these days there are so many children who are born, and when they are born, they have ailments. Yes, right from birth you can see that there is some physical ailment, there is some mental ailment, something or the other. And when they are born, you see the parents' life, that the life of those two souls, it gets connected to the child's journey, isn't it? And then the child is suffering and the parent is suffering along with that. And Baba says this is why whenever you come, after that you understand that when you create a new relationship, with an impure soul who has karmic settlements, then you are making yourself open to more sorrow and more karmic, baggage. So this is why make choices after that. Don't just go into, and if your heart is connected to impure souls, again you will be deceived by them. Yes, because impure souls just know how to push you into impurity, because that's all they know, that's the best they know. But if your heart is connected to them, let's say your Lokik parents, then they don't know better than, pushing somebody into the gutter of lust. So they will always ask you to get married, have children, this, that. But you understand that it's not a celebratory thing to get married and have children. It's all, taking up new karmic accounts and then increasing your karmic accounts. It's not about karmic settlement. This time you have to settle karma. Already you have a lot of karmic baggage. So instead of settling them, why take up new ones? And then when you take up new ones, then you have to settle even those. And when you connect your karmic journey to other souls, their karmic journey also starts affecting you. So this is why Baba says, don't be cunning buddhi, and also don't make the wrong choices after you took gyan. So Baba says, and offer everybody that come and understand gyan, take out 1 week, and if you don't understand, then you can go back to your own life. But if you understand, then start practicing and start following the path. Okay, Om Shanti.